AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, everybody. You're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin. Evan is out doing superhero things. That's what he usually says. However, that's not going to stop us from getting to an amazing show and having an amazing guest. I'm going to play this video first before we, have her introduce herself.
What do you think you're doing, trying to mess with Fury before her big match with Chantilly? You want to talk to a psycho sister? You gotta go through Razor. All the other little WoW superheroes better get ready, because a storm is coming. And we're headed straight to the top. Hear me when I say the Psycho Sisters, we're gonna be wearing gold around our waists. And the first rung on the ladder is Chantilly. Don't get me wrong, the girl looks like she knows how to party. She's fast, she's athletic. None of that is gonna prepare her for the onslaught she's about to face. So get ready. The Psycho Sisters are coming.
Well then, gave me goosebumps. She is a former co-host of WPW, current host of Women's Wrestling Friends, a wrestling manager for Tyler Bateman, and now she is a WoW superhero. Please welcome Sarah the Rebel, aka Razor.
Hello, happy to be here.
Thanks for coming in.
Of course.
So, yeah, that. When I saw it, I watched it on my phone. I was like, okay, but seeing it on a bigger screen and then the volume is kind of scary.
It was really exciting for me because a lot of people don't know that
psycho?
That I'm psycho.
Okay.
Or that if you give me a mic, I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool to get to show. Wow, you should give me a mic all the time.
So who developed the character? Because you're part of the Psycho Sisters. Mm-hmm. So who developed? How did that come about?
It was a bit of a teamwork, like a lot of the characters are. They had originally a Razor character in the old WoW. So they had the name already, and they had the idea that they wanted her to be a tough girl. But when I auditioned, Selena Majors was like, I can see you as our new version of whatever that tough girl group was. Mm-hmm. And then I was the writer as well, so I wrote the character.
Wait, you wrote just your character, or you wrote other characters?
I wrote quite a few characters on the show.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You didn't know your girl was a writer?
So, yes, we'll get into that. so can you say which characters you also wrote for?
I don't know, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
But
right.
yeah, I can definitely say myself and Fury, of course, and maybe if a hint, another dark girl.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So what was that? Take me through the experience. Was there a casting call, or how did you get to the point of auditioning and then making the audition and then go from there?
So I was writing for them at first, and then I heard that they had an audition, and I said, Selena, would it be okay for me to audition, because I know I already work for you guys, so is that like a conflict of interest?
Right.
I won't do it if so, but I just have to ask. And apparently she went back and talked with David and said, we have to let her audition, because if she doesn't audition, she's going to wonder her whole life what could have been.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool. So she's a wrestler. She gets it.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, amazing, passionate.
So I went to the tryout, and I at first I was a little nervous because a lot of the women there were actors, and so they kind of some parts of the audition were geared more towards actors, and I was like, oh, you want me to cut a promo, but what about?
Right.
And whereas they kind of had an answer already because they were just doing themselves, I felt like, well, who's my opponent? What's the normal wrestling promo? But once I got it and they saw my promo, it actually is very similar to what the character Razor ended up being.
Okay. So then you make it, and then you start training.
Yeah, the training, it was a little bit while they got the school set up, because they had they got their own place, their own dojo, so to say, for WoW wrestling, and so they had to get that all set up. And then once they did, training started, and was 3 to 5 days a week, depending on what you could do. A lot of girls did 5 days a week.
Wow, how many hours?
It actually could be from 2 to 4 generally. Yeah.
All right. And
It was a
then,
lot.
so you got through the training. They announced the show dates. So did you? Because I know they flew a lot of the girls out from other places. So what was that preparation? Well, you have the show dates now. You know when it's happening. You have the costumes. You have your characters. What was that?
Oh, did we?
Well,
Well, production never goes the way you plan. And
Facts.
so we knew that the girls flying in from out of town were coming in at different times, but it was hard to know who was coming in when and how much time you'd have with them. And so while some of us had a lot of time to plan our matches, some of us had the amount of time you would have on a normal show, which
Right.
is like, just make it
moments,
work. Yeah. So that was a bit challenging, and I think it's something that can be improved upon in the future, but we made it work. Everybody got through it because they're professionals, and that's what wrestlers do every day.
so we had David on the show. David said, I think is it 8 episodes, correct?
Yes, I think so.
8 episodes. Then they're going to tape again, and they want to do pre-tapes. Where do you see, or where do you hope WoW will be in the next couple of years?
I would love to see them on the level of having a show that you don't have to wonder every season if it's going to get renewed. That
Right.
would be what I would like to see for them, where we can actually go and do this as a living, the way the WWE superstars are able to.
Oh, for you guys who don't know, so WoW is on Access TV every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just a little FYI. So just in case you didn't know, you should have known because we've been talking about it forever. That's where you can find it. So now you've had a few matches. Who do you want to have, for the next season? Who would you like to actually have a match with?
So I would really like to beat up Samantha Smart or Keita Rush. Keita Rush, because I think we could have a really exciting, interesting match. I've seen a lot from her in training. We don't necessarily align in the same goals and how we go about things, but I think she could be a fun challenge.
Yeah,
And then Samantha Smart,
I could see that.
she talks all this smack on Twitter all day long.
Yeah.
Have you seen her in a match? Because I haven't seen her in a match.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
Wow. All right. So wrestling-wise, so you've been training for, how long have you been training again?
2 years now.
So you've been training for about 2 years. It's like the perfect time. You have some of your other wrestling promotions coming, not to say you're leaving WoW, but where do you see your wrestling career?
I
Or where would you like to see
honestly,
it?
I would love to see it with WoW in forever. Like, again, like how I would love for WoW to get to that point where this is where I work and this is my full-time job and this is where the only place I can wrestle. And that's because when I started my wrestling training, my biggest sorrow was, dang, I really wish Glow was still around. Because the kind of wrestling that I wanted to do, the kind of character work, it's not as appreciated on the indie scene sometimes, because on a lot of indie shows, it's like, who's going to do the craziest stunt? That's what people want to see. They want to see the wildest things. They want to see
See
somebody
the
jump off
tampon one? Did you
okay,
see
yeah. Generally,
Made TMZ.
I can't watch Priscilla Kelly wrestle. She's a nice person, but she's always real gross, and I don't want to see it. And she's been that way. That's why I didn't get the backlash. I'm like, have you never seen a Priscilla Kelly match? That's the kind of stuff she does.
I didn't realize there was backlash for that.
Oh, yeah. Gail Kim was like, this is ruining women's wrestling.
When was it Joey Ryan? He pulls out a lollipop from his. Okay.
He's ruining men's wrestling.
Okay, copy.
Together, they're destroying wrestling.
All right.
But actually getting to tell a story with your character isn't really something that a lot of indie audiences seem to connect with. And so for me, this was perfect when WoW came into being. I cut a promo once for something else, and the people filming it were like, dang, you're like a Glow girl. If Glow was still around. I was like, no. So now it's back. It's WoW, and it's where I want to be.
Nice. So as far as wrestlers, let's just say, take it out from WoW. Who would you want to wrestle? Male or
Nobody.
female?
Nobody. I don't want to
Nobody?
wrestle anybody. Just give me the belt. Put me on top. I'm Razor. I'm in charge.
Okay, so you just feel like you deserve the
Yes,
belt?
absolutely. I don't understand why we have to just go through the motions. Just give it to me.
Some things never change. Like I did say, Sarah was a former co-host of the show, and of course, Evan is not here. But what are your...
So are you being Evan with the shirt buttons today? That's an old school reference, if anybody
yeah,
gets
you have
it.
to watch, former shows. What did you like about being part of WPW?
I loved doing the Star of the Week, actually, because I think a lot of people don't know about women wrestlers outside of the WWE, and so it was cool to actually get to share that information with other people. So that was my favorite part.
It was my favorite part too, because I didn't have to do it, and you did it very well. That also like brings me to have you been keeping up with WWE at all?
A little bit, like mostly watching clips online versus spending 3 hours.
You might not. So it brings me to stuff like this is why I like the Star of the Week, because for instance we're in the middle of Black History Month, as you know most of us should know, but WWE just plays the same clip of the same person every year. And it's just kind of like there's more Black people.
Yeah, I was very frustrated even last year because I think for Black History Month they were talking about non-wrestlers in a lot of their packages. Like it was like Martin Luther King and other
it's the same.
Oh, it's
package.
the same one. Good,
yeah. But just
Great.
different wrestlers went to the same place.
But I wanted to see Black wrestling history. Like there's actually another account on Instagram that I follow, Black Wrestling Alliance, and they have given me more information about Black
Every day.
wrestlers than WWE has ever done. And it's Black History Month. This is your opportunity to share some little known information or to bring it back for the young kids. Like how many kids watching today know about Booker T? You know what I mean? Or know what he did during his reign? I don't know. I feel like we don't even need to talk about the George Washington Carvers of the world on WWE. We can talk about the history in wrestling.
Yeah. I like that idea. It sounds like you need to be a writer as well. Now you are a writer. You are writing. Are you still writing for WoW as well?
Little bits here and there. I don't know if I'm their official writer, but when things got really hectic and it became more important for me to be training than writing, that became a little unclear. So I'm not sure if we're going forward.
So now, do you enjoy the writing part? So would you like to write for primarily WoW, but other?
Absolutely. I love writing storylines and bios, especially storylines, because I think so many places get stuck in the same sort of storylines, whereas there's so many more unique and different ways to do it. Like Naomi and Mandy fighting over a man.
Wait, so did you like that?
No.
Okay. I was about to say.
But like if you wanted to have a rivalry with them, it's almost like WWE can't really see women as people so much as they see them as women. And so a lot of their storylines are so based around woman stories.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't have to fight over a man. They could fight over anything. They could fight over being the most underrated wrestler. You know, like there's other stories they could use. So yes, I would love to get to do more of that.
Yeah.
And especially I love writing bios because it's basically like creating an RPG character. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's one of those things, even just in general, as far as storylines, you can apply it to what I learned and what I love about wrestling, you could apply to different avenues of life. Like if you're doing publicist work, it's like about the storyline, what's going to catch the attention of the people. And it's just like, it's so interesting how you're seeing promos and storylines injected to politics and other things. Now you are a published author, which is what we didn't get to talk about the last time you were here as our first time guest, who eventually became. I guess you do get everything you want. Just became a host the next week.
It's like I'm staying now.
So tell us about the books that you have published.
Sure. So the first one was Agent Carter, Season 1 Declassified. For any of you remember the show, the Agent Carter show from Marvel, she was like a really cool spy in the 40s. And when they did the show, they reached out to me because they wanted a woman writer, and I'd been recommended to them. And getting to do the backstage and meeting everyone on the cast, and Haley Atwell is everything you'd ever want her to be in your heart. Like she's so kind and giving, and they're all really fun and funny, and it was just a really cool experience. So that was my first book. And then my second one was about a video game, a video game company called Half Brick. And I'm an avid video game player. I love video games.
I don't know how you have time.
I don't have that much time anymore.
It's like, I don't know where.
Ever since wrestling training, I keep asking Xavier Woods, I'm like, how do you do this?
Well, that's my thing. I look at people like Xavier and just like, it's like, how do you, because you can't just put 5 minutes in.
Right.
Like you're putting hours in, and it's like, because I used to play video games like back in the day. It's like I really would like to,
Right.
But it's like I don't know like when I'm gonna.
Right, and especially what he does, he streams. You have to have so much more energy. I come home from training and I'm so tired. I just want to play the simplest game and not have to think. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out that balance myself.
I watched I think 5 minutes of the show where he's playing, and he's like, all right, I have to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, what? People actually watch this? Like, and you literally just watching the screen waiting for him to come back, and I'm just like, All right.
Well, that's better than him dying because he didn't take bathroom breaks. That's happened to a streamer before. In China, I think. You drown in your own fluids.
Now I saw you always have these facts. So I saw on your, I believe it was Facebook, you're like a character, or they created a character of you of Razor for 2K19.
So for anyone,
WWE?
so for anyone who doesn't play the game, you can create your own character models, and so there are these like artists who are part of that gaming community, and they create various like indie wrestlers. Like I think my boyfriend Tyler Bateman is already in there, and this artist named Faye Gaming on Instagram. I have her tagged in the post. She created one for Razor, and she's like, "Sorry, they don't have curly hair like yours," and I was like, "That's really."
So can other people go in and find?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So on that post, if anyone's looking for it, it's on my Instagram and on my Twitter, the Razor one. There's tags for those ones, so they just type in the tags that I listed, and it'll pop up.
So what is it like being a video game character? Have you played yourself?
I have not played myself because I only have 2K18. But one day I will.
Where I think what? How?
If somebody would like to buy it from me, hit your girl up.
Well, Kofi send you
Yeah,
coffee.
Kofi fee. Send me 4 coffee. I can't do that math very quickly. 5 to 6 coffees, please.
So what was the best part, like the most memorable part as far as WoW and your experience there? Like, you know, when you like go on vacation, you're like, man, that part was like amazing. What do you have like the most memorable part of your experience with WoW?
I have 2 very different ones. So the first one is cutting the promo that hopefully you guys will see on the episode where I actually
coming up this week,
wrestle.
right?
It's coming up this week. Where I really surprised some important people with it, and they gave me my props. And that's like one of the things I'm always looking for is like, just tell me I did a good job.
So important people in real life or important people in the story?
In real life.
Nice. Okay.
So that was a really cool moment for me to kind of see the people who needed to see me saw me and recognized it. And then a group one was being backstage at WoW. We have 2 giant screens up where we were watching everything that was happening on the screens. And so sitting there with other women wrestlers from all over the United States with all different types of experience, 10-year, 15-year vets down to newer folks, and getting to kind of sit under a learning tree and bond, and also just learn with other people who do the same craft was a really nice experience, and one you don't normally get.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at female wrestlers in a lot of the promotions, you'll see like, stereotypical, and then you might see one that's like an outlier. But with WoW, it's like everybody's so different. Like there's no 2 of the same.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
And that's something that when we say it's not just like, we're not just saying it. There's someone for everyone. Like, no matter what kind of woman you are, there is probably a WoW character that you can relate to. And that was really important to all of us because growing up, we didn't have a lot of women wrestlers to look up to. It was a very small pool. Like, if you ask people who their favorite wrestler was growing up, like a favorite female wrestler, almost everyone says Lita. I like China, but whatever. Almost everyone says the same name. That's how few people we had, So being able to change that so that little girls growing up today can have way more options, we all felt really good to be a part of that.
Yeah, because it's nice to see different variations of women, and then you can inject your, personality or your younger self into that. So definitely appreciate that. Now, the WWE, I believe it's still called the Diva Search that the Bellas are doing. Is that a contract issue?
I wouldn't do it personally because I don't want to work for the WWE.
Okay.
That's always been a choice that I made. Once I saw their like Tough Enough stuff, I was like, oh, I'm not. I do not want to do that as my job.
So the Tough Enough stuff, meaning that like it was just.
Well, so anytime there's like performance tryout videos, right? Like the Performance Center shares videos. I'm watching people do these push-ups and jumping over bags and pull-ups.
Wait, so you're not about that?
No, thank you. I just want to hit people, and I don't understand why you want me to be in like the best shape of my life to hit people. Do you know how many people have hit and punched people in the face and they were not in good shape? 90% of people who have punched people in the face.
Okay, so Let me get this straight. So the reason why you don't want to work for the WWE is because the training that they do is more like workout training, and then they do the wrestling training, and you rather just concentrate on the wrestling.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. They're looking for the world's best athletes. If you look at what they say, they want the football players, they want the MMA fighters. They're not. They don't really care about the wrestling part. You know, like they will teach you how they want you to wrestle.
Yeah, that's true.
And nothing about that appeals to me. I don't want to be your little athlete super soldier that you molded in Florida. I do not want any parts of that. I already have myself, thank you, and I would like to be me.
That would be kind of funny, though. I would love to
Super
see
soldier Sarah comes back out and just eating a protein shake.
The attempt of it. Like, there's like, okay, well, we're going to do these push-ups, and we're going to do ring dips, and we're going to do this, and I would just love to do, not even you attempt it, just your face as they're saying what they want
This would
everybody
be my
to
face.
do.
I do it in class sometimes. Like, you think I'm going to flip on my head on that, but I'm not. So yeah, that's not for me, but I've been sharing it because that's a great opportunity for lots of other women. A lot of people want to get into wrestling, and the money to pay for wrestling school can be a very big barrier. So if you can apply to this and be able to go through wrestling training without having to, because you don't have to have training to apply.
Right.
Then you get free wrestling training. So that's really awesome.
And you also get, if you do it right, the way the world is set up now, and you know this, Sarah was running our social media account, also dearly missed that part. The way the world is set up, even if you look at Eva Marie and what she's doing, and whether people that didn't last very long in WWE, how they've created a whole nother brand,
Right.
and they're exposed to all these people. I mean,
Yeah, it's a great opportunity if you can seize it and take the moment. So I hope a lot of women do.
well, no push-ups
But
for
none
Sarah.
for me, no thank you.
So now, here's my question. So you do ballet for your, I call him your your hubby because y'all
He
been
also has been accidentally calling me his wife lately.
Oh, so is there a
He
ring
used to
coming?
accidentally call me his fiance, and I was like, you have to ask. You can't just assume.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're living together,
Oh, that's the Caribbean popping out of you.
I'm just. That's my fault. I mean, if that wasn't a consideration, then you should be doing something else.
Don't tell me to live my life.
I'm just,
It's like when I tell my friends they should be nuns. Like, they don't have to be nuns. They can live their lives.
Yeah, but if your friend is doing nun-like things, like, oh, I'm going to do this,
Nuntivities.
I'm
Nuns
gonna
are
do
your
this, I'm
friends,
gonna do
nuns
that,
are your
then I get
enemies.
that. But if you're going to, post pictures and birthdays and anniversaries, vice versa on, so I follow the both of you on social media. I see the love. I feel the love. So therefore, if the love is like, hey, I want you to be my fiance, then I don't understand why you're fighting. You know how many women are out here?
I know, that
want
makes me
type of
laugh.
love?
I was at a job I didn't really like at one point, and they kept talking about how they were upset that their men hadn't proposed to them. And I'm over there like,
Exactly.
Don't
and
know
now
that
you're
life.
talking about.
nah, it's not for me. I'm an independent woman.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So my question is, so you do ballet. At one point in your career, would you consider switching the roles?
Absolutely. I mean, if WoW would allow it, I would really love to have
That would be
like
awesome.
Tyler Bateman come in with his whole
Yeah.
that would be awesome to me. But
Have you pitched that, or are you?
I think I know why they want things the way they want it right now. That might be something for down the road when WoW is more established. But I do agree that right now the focus should really be on the women.
Right.
So that's why the ring rats, they're just eye candy. They're not real people. They're not entities. You know what I
said the
mean?
ring rats?
The ring rats. Oh, you don't know about Katie Forbes' ring rats?
Oh yes, that's what I didn't know. That's what they were
Oh,
called.
yes, that's what they're called, the ring rats. Right. They're not even people, so they're okay. But I think while we're establishing this woman empowerment place, right now is not really a call for a male figure to be brought into that. But yeah, I'd love it. And I did do a dark match once somewhere, and he was my manager for that match, so he's totally down.
You need to put more videos up. That's just a personal.
There is no videos
personal-
to be
a
had.
personal thing.
It's kind of hard at indie shows because who's going to film it for me?
You have a lot of fans.
Yeah, have you seen any fan footage from? Okay, it's fine. My friend
mean,
filmed
just-
my friend filmed that whole match, and it looks like
Well,
grandma
it's-
filmed it on whatever grandmas used to film with. They hold them like this.
That is
I
my
don't know what those are called.
Question with the indie matches: why don't obviously it's not going to be a big production like WWE or even WoW, but why don't they have at least one camera set up?
Rey Mysterio has had a show going on out here for like a while, and none of those shows are filmed. They're held at a casino. They feature talent that people know the names of.
Right.
And I was like, hey, do you have any footage of me doing that cool Rana? And they were like, oh, we didn't really film it. And I was just like, so many places don't film, or they film it poorly, or they film it and they take months to edit it.
Right.
And then there are some places that film it and put it up, but it's behind a paywall. So it's really just confusing to me.
I would take poor film versus no film.
I wouldn't, because it doesn't really do anything for you. If you have something ugly that people aren't going to want to share, then what's the point of posting it?
Yeah, but at least it's there. Like, I mean, if you have a tripod and a camera that is above, the audience, like, I don't, it can't get, like, if it's not shaky.
Yeah, I don't know why indie shows don't film. If I had an indie show, I'd have somebody filming it.
Yeah, because there's just so many, it's another way to get yourself out there. It's another way to see greatness beyond, the TV. Because let's be honest, like, as far as TV, I think I know 2 people who actually still have cable.
Right.
So, like, I watch a lot of stuff online, watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, all this other stuff. That's usually the first place I go to.
Right.
So if it's even on there, I'll watch some, like, if it's just straight on footage, I don't mind watching that, because it's like, okay, well, these people are in the matches.
Right. A lot of modern consumers, too, like, that's how we consume things. We want a preview at least. If we're not going to we want to know a little bit. And that makes people more excited to go to things in the future. I mean, this is completely unrelated, but it's like when Prince didn't used to be on YouTube while he was alive. And so anytime I wanted to introduce a friend to Prince, it was very difficult. I had to bring my CDs.
Yeah.
And now so many people are discovering Prince, and it's so easy to share because his songs are on YouTube. Yeah, they're all on YouTube now. It's wonderful. Go listen to some Rosie. I was listening to Rosie Gaines last night.
But I still think you can't.
Been so
his camp is really on top of stuff.
No, not as on top of stuff as he was. All of his music is on there.
Okay, well, maybe they'll bring back. I had a episode where I had one of my mentors on the show. I was interviewing her. She's like a huge Prince fan, and she wanted her intro song to be a Prince song.
Right.
And literally within 2 weeks, because I went back to try to get, can't find it. They took it down. Couldn't even.
Well,
yeah.
I saw a lot of them up there last night, and I felt blessed in my heart. Because
so you were
in
listening.
college,
You were listening to Prince last night.
Yeah.
Okay. With your cat.
Why weren't you?
I mean,
and my boyfriend.
You guys have to follow. What's your social media handle for folks who don't or not follow you?
You can follow me at Sarah the Rebel. Sarah's an H, as God in the Bible intended. Or you can follow me at it's either wow_razor or razor_wow. You figure it out.
I think it might be wow_razor.
Good.
Because I think everybody else is that too. And you'll see her chunky looking cat. I don't know.
He's so fat.
Oh my gosh. So where do you think, or where do you see, or where do you want women's wrestling to be? So we have AEW not just came out, but Brandy Rose said she essentially wants equal pay for male and female wrestlers. You have other promotions. Female wrestlers, I mean, we're going into our 3rd season for Women's Wrestling Weekly. We repeated one guest, and that was Taya, but she brought Johnny, so I guess that's not a repeat. And we still have more wrestlers to interview.
Right.
So where do you hope, and where would you like to see women's wrestling?
I just like it to get back to the point where it's seen as just as viable as male wrestling. Even like what Brandy said, like, oh, we're going to pay men and women equally, but then she went back and said, of course, this does depend on experience and blah, blah, blah. Well, part of the problem is you don't have the female equivalent of Jericho necessarily. Because it hasn't been enough time for that to be created since women were allowed to be strong. Like Aja Kong is maybe the closest thing we've got. So technically, the women probably still aren't going to be making as much as the men on the show are going to be making.
But what about like a Taya Valkyrie?
Even a Taya and a Tessa, they will probably be the top earners at the company. If they were to be at AEW, they would be like the top earners. But everybody else, like, they wouldn't. Even a woman wrestler who's been wrestling for 17 years probably isn't going to make the same amount of money as a male wrestler who's been wrestling less than that, but has been more places and been able to do more, like been to the WWE and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would like it to get to the point where that statement is actually like a true statement, and it doesn't have to be this huge division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, already we're in a pretty great time. Like, WoW has so many women wrestlers hitting them up on Twitter, like, hey, they want to come wrestle for WoW. And there's so many women that we can't take them all.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
And that was, like, what I loved is seeing a lot of people that we had interviewed in the past showing up on WoW. and there's so many people. I think we talked to Kelly Klein, and it's like she. You know, you see her, I didn't realize she's an amazing woman. School teacher, she sews her outfits, like she's a vegan, she's married, like such an amazing person. But then her character in the ring, I was like, I could definitely see her in WoW. And then she has the experience.
Right.
So, I mean, there's so many people, and again, I don't know, I'm definitely not in the behind the scenes as who they talk to and stuff like that.
Right.
But there's so many female wrestlers that definitely
I think
do that.
even Jazz like hit us up at one point. Like it was crazy, like how many people. I know Taya would want to wrestle for WoW, so
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful that in the future these matches can happen.
Yeah. And have them showcased.
Right.
Because the WoW, if you guys haven't heard me rave about just the live show, I went to the live show both days. It was amazing. It was a packed crowd, cameras everywhere. It was just a well put together.
Right, it's an experience, and I actually had coworkers there. They came, and
I think I saw them with your picture.
They had signs and everything, and this is one of the few places you can go not only see women's wrestling, but also feel like you had a whole night out. You're out somewhere nice. It's beautiful setup. You can get drinks. You can meet people. Like it's definitely elevated. And I hope we get to do more of those live shows because there are people still asking me, when's the next one? When's the next one?
Well, according to David, there's going to be a possible pay-per-view and then another live show coming on. So
That sounds fun.
I guess you guys didn't watch the interview with David. That's
No,
okay.
no. I don't have time. No.
So we're gonna get into rapid fire real quick. You familiar with rapid fire?
What?
So here we go. Always early or always late?
Late.
Last person you text.
Probably Tyler Bateman.
Okay. What is the one thing you love about yourself?
I love my confidence.
A lot of it. Dream dinner guest.
Can I bring Prince back?
Sure.
Okay,
Who would play you in a movie?
Nobody, me.
Celebrity you would love to meet.
Keith Hamilton Cobb.
Who is that?
He used to play Tyr Anasazi on the show Andromeda.
Last show you binge watched.
Binging, it's not really a thing that I do. Nature's Curiosities by David Attenborough.
If you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Purple.
Favorite junk food.
All the junk food. Ice cream.
Favorite WoW superstar other than yourself? Superhero other than yourself.
Okay, fine, Havoc.
If you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
A buffet. One of them sushi buffets where they got sushi and other stuff.
If you could listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
A mixtape that I created.
You still create mixtapes?
Why not?
Oh, non-tapes.
Listen,
right?
I'm old.
Non-tapes.
Oh yeah, they're not even on CDs. They're just
Okay.
they
I could
exist in
see
the
you
digital
doing
realm.
tapes. Who would be your dream match, dead or alive?
I don't know. I never have an answer to this, to be perfectly honest with you, because I always want to win, right? And so, like, I feel like it would be weird to say somebody like Jazz, who's my hero, because I don't want to beat Jazz. She's my hero. But if I'm having a dream match, I want to win. I don't know. Maybe Stephanie McMahon, because then I can beat her up and feel good about it.
Well, I mean, Becky's been doing that, so.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could see you and Becky would be like a good.
I don't know, because I wouldn't want to hurt her. See, this is where I struggle with this.
Stephanie McMahon?
Yeah.
You wouldn't?
No, I would.
Oh,
I would
okay.
absolutely hurt. I thought you said Becky.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
wanna
was like,
hurt
I wouldn't
Becky?
want to hurt Becky.
Okay,
No,
gotcha.
she's the man.
What do you think of that whole thing?
I
with
love
Becky?
it. I love it. Finally, because we know Becky's a good worker. And she has an interesting personality. I think she stumbles over words when they're given to her, like a lot of people do. A lot
Yeah.
of wrestlers especially do. Because when you're good at doing promos, usually it's because it's from your brain, not something you're
and from
reading.
your heart. Like, you
Right.
know, whatever minor or small thing that you're tapping into,
Right.
like it makes sense.
Right, exactly. And so I think she's being given a little more freedom to speak from the heart. And I love it. I love that they're going with the man thing. I love that they're letting her harass everyone on social media. It's great.
I do love because you saw, this is where social media and wrestling worked properly together, because you saw the evolution of the man
Right.
before the man even came, and then you saw how it came on WWE, and now it's just like it makes sense.
Her roasting Ronda Rousey is my favorite part of almost every day.
Yeah. Versus you have somebody who like says all these bad things on the show, and then they're like, "Oh, here at charity." I'm like, like I know I know, but I don't want to know.
Right.
Like there should be. You
Yeah,
know,
I definitely think social media has killed kayfabe for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But there are some people who still work. Kevin Owens used to be really great at it. And then he got way more dad. I think because he got injured, he was just like, this is the only content I have to post.
Oh, you like
Here's
posting
me
the
and my
kids and
cat. I do love seeing pictures of his cat. He's so fat.
you have a thing
fat.
for fat cats.
Who has a thing for skinny cats? Who? Point to them.
Yeah, but your cat's not. You're go on her social media, folks, because her cat's like. There's like a cute chubby, and then your cat's just like one shake away from
Did you
going
just
to.
say that my cat was not cute? Am I about to rip
like
these
one shake of
headphones
going
off?
from like Weight Watchers.
Excuse me. There's no such thing as a Weight Watchers for cats. You're rude. You're rude as hell. I'm never coming on this show again. If you, how dare you disrespect my son?
She's at her side. She's walking away, guys.
I'm actually too lazy to walk
he's
away. But
cute, but he looks severely overweight.
no, he's not even that overweight. He's a big boy.
Okay, that's what the doctor said.
Yeah. They don't go to doctors.
Don't they go?
Dumb. They go to vets.
Yeah, what
Oh,
what
look.
does the vet
He's
say?
smarter than you.
Isn't the vet? Don't you call the vet the doctor so and so?
No, it's the vet.
Oh my
I
goodness.
call him vet so and so.
You guys should see Tyler's face. He's in the room with us and he's dying of laughter. So what can we look for? Because I know you do a lot of shows, which I love. Like I love people doing their passion versus somebody saying I want to do this and then they go back to, you know, we all have to make money, we all have to pay bills, but like you're making it work. And every weekend or every week or sometimes 2-3 times I'm seeing you at events. So where can people find you? Is any big events that we should look out for?
Oh man, I wish I could remember any of them. I'll be at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, the
Okay.
next taping that they have.
Were you there with when Jazz was there?
Yes, I wasn't even booked, but I'm a mark, so
Oh
I
my
showed up
gosh.
anyway. I got to put the belt on her, y'all.
Oh, nice.
She was like, "Hey, help me with this," and I was like, but like I kept
gosh.
it on the inside. But
Okay.
like, yeah, that's one of my childhood heroes. I put the belt on.
I
her.
wanted to go, but the drive, like to fit the drive in is.
Yeah, it's
in the middle
a
of
kind of a
nowhere.
long drive, but it is a free show. They have delicious hot dogs and popcorns, and it's pretty nice to
that wasn't a
sit
good selling
in the
point.
nice theater. It was for me. I eat a hot dog every time I go there. It's delicious. So CWF Hollywood is the next place you can catch me, and then just follow me on social media. We're always posting about where we're going to be. We're going to be in Vegas for FSW. We're going to be in San Francisco for West Coast Pro Wrestling. So give me a follow and let me know where you are, and I'll tell you where I'm going to
And
be.
what about the shirts? Because you guys just came
Oh
out with new
yeah,
shirts.
we just have brand new shirt. I don't know. I think this thing's in the way. Oh, I'm too short. It's fine. Too short.
Where can people get the shirts?
You can DM me and pay for them. They're $20 plus shipping. So usually ends up being $25.
Okay.
And we need that money. Please help to feed our son, who is not overweight.
Go on social media. That will be the poll question for today. I'm gonna post a picture of what's his name.
Okay, Bailey. His name is
I'm
Bailey.
gonna
You don't
post
even know his name, and you talking all this
Yeah,
smack about
the chunky
him.
cat. I'm gonna post a picture of Bailey the chunky cat, and you're gonna let me know where Bailey falls on the chunky scale. That will be the poll
Go ahead.
question.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And where can people find you again on social media?
Sarah the Rebel. Sarah's the H is God of the Bible intended. I'm Sarah everywhere, Sarah the Rebel. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at WowRazor.
Sounds good. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Sarah the Rebel, for being on the show.
I'll never be back on the show again. How
She'll
dare you?
be back on for season 3, guys. We'll catch you guys later. Ciao.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
From executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Bill Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling. We ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week. From executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling, we ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.